how you look. Ask him. He right there.
Andrew, how you look?
You see on stage, bro.
Dexter.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Andrew Jacked, who did his final legs workout before flying out to Vegas. So along with the dieting and the training, Andrew has been very consistent with his YouTube uploads. And as a fan of the sport, and as a fan of Andrew Jacked himself, we are so thankful for letting us see his Olympia journey and also a peek behind the curtain of what's going on leading into this year's Miss Olympia. So just imagine how confident is the team around Andrew that they gave him rest days just 2 weeks out of the Olympia.
He took a few days off. Well, when you take days off, you're kind of pretty confident, stuff like that. And sometimes you need to break.
And that I have to say only means one thing, that he is just way ahead of the schedule. So the best part of his latest upload, that was when the legend Dexter Jackson, he came on call and told them where he has Andrew Jacked placing at this year's Miss Olympia.
You got him in the lineup. What do you think?
Top 3.
Top 3.
If he come in and tell him to come, you tell Chris, don't Chris, where the camera at?
I'm watching.
Chris, don't make sure you have Andrew tight, bring him in a little bit tighter than the last show, and he gonna test that ass up.
So Dexter Jackson and Chris Lewis, they go way back. So there was a time when both Sean Roden, may he rest in peace, and Dexter Jackson, they were training with Psycho Fitness in the Gold's Gym. Now as fans, we just cannot wait to see Andrew Jacked. Because if what Chris Lewis, aka Psycho Fitness, says is true, what he has been saying all along, that he's gonna be 40% better than what we saw at this year's Texas Pro, I have to say we are all in for a big surprise. And not just as fans, all the current pros as well. Now realistically speaking, if Andrew Jacked moves up and places top 3 this year, that I have to say is gonna be a big jump. Because he just made his Olympia debut a couple of years back. He was 8th in his first ever Miss Olympia. In his second year, he placed 5th. And if he keeps on improving, nothing can stop him from winning the Olympia next year. Or who knows, he might be in contention for this year's Olympia title as well. So this is the week where we're gonna see the best bodybuilders train under one roof during the peak week leading into this year's Miss Olympia. So this is a very special time of the year. And here are two guys, Andrew Jacked and Muhammad Foda, meeting just 1 week before they share the same stage. And for those of you guys who do not know, they train in the same gym back in Dubai as well. So I told you guys that I'm gonna make sure that you don't miss these unforgettable Olympia moments at all. And here is one for you guys. 3 Chris's in 1 frame. So in terms of bodybuilding history, there is just so much wisdom in that single frame, with Chris Aceto being one of the best bodybuilding gurus, and that too of all time. Just think about those guys who Chris Aceto has been able to dethrone. The greatest of all time, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, and interestingly, both Jake Cutler and the late Sean Roden were being coached by Chris Aceto when both these guys won their Olympia titles. Then we have Chris Cormier, and as you guys all know, he is one of the best bodybuilders of the 90s era. And I'm gonna say one of the most unluckiest bodybuilders in a sense, that he tried his best to win that Arnold Classic title. And it is so shocking that he placed 2nd in that show for 5 consecutive years. And finally we have Chris Lewis, aka Psycho Fitness. He is the guy who was also part of that team, who helped the late Sean Roden won his first ever Miss Olympia title back in 2018, the year they were able to beat the invincible Phil Heath. So more content like this, that will come your way, and that too throughout this week, so stay tuned for more. I know Sergio Oliva Jr isn't even slightly relevant during the Olympia weekend this year, but it seems like he's getting his size back, and the man is also now training without any restrictions whatsoever. Now he was supposed to compete this year, but unfortunately he got injured and postponed his competition plans. So Sergio is also training at the Torture Gym, and that is in Vegas, where all of these top Olympians, they will show up for their final workouts. So this, I believe, will definitely fire him up to make a very strong comeback sometime in 2025, hopefully at the upcoming Arnold. So based on the placings he has been getting, especially in the last couple of years, I am not really sure whether he has what it takes to compete with this new generation of open bodybuilders who are coming up so damn fast and who are changing at such a fast pace. Yes, I know Sergio is a massive bodybuilder, but the thing is, if he cannot get in condition, and if he just cannot get shredded enough, all that size that he has, that also means absolutely nothing. So it has been a while since Sergio tasted victory. In fact, the only IFB Pro win that Sergio has in his entire bodybuilding career, that was back in 2017 when he won the New York Pro. Now for anyone wondering after seeing that picture of him and Milos Sarcev, then know these guys aren't working together. His coach right now is Neil Hill, and whatever show they decide to do in 2025, that is gonna be Sergio's first show as a pro with a coach other than Chris Ciccio. Next up, we have an update from Hunter Labrada. So Hunter has to be 100% for this year's Miss Olympia, because there are multiple guys such as Martin Fitzwater, Rafael Brandao, who are really gunning for his spot, and Hunter is gonna find himself really vulnerable if he misses even slightly. So both the guys that I just mentioned, I think we have to agree on this one. They both have better shapes, better aesthetics, not to mention better midsection than Hunter. So at the end of the day, it is all about exposing the guy's weakness, whom you're standing next to, especially on the Olympia stage. But on the flip side, what does Hunter have over both these guys? That is the size, the thickness, and the density. Because there is just no way either Brandao or Martin could match with Hunter, especially in terms of size, and especially this year. And one thing that we all agreed on after watching Hunter at this year's Italy Pro was that the man looked noticeably bigger, and that too in all the right areas. He had bigger quads, bigger delts, bigger arms, not to mention a more thicker and a denser back. So Hunter has been focused a lot on the posing and presentation, as well as fixing his midsection. So logic says that he is gonna be a lot tighter and a lot more conditioned at this year's Olympia stage compared to what we saw about 4 weeks back, because he had 4 more weeks of dieting and digging even deeper after this year's Italy Pro. And that, I have to say, is plenty of time to get peeled inside out, especially when Hunter was already in such a solid condition. Now there is definitely some room for improvements in terms of Hunter's peak, because he hasn't quite brought that a few days out look, when he looks all full, with some crazy amount of detail and separation to the stage just yet. So hopefully we are gonna see that at this year's Olympia. So Logan Franklin knows that he for sure is gonna get some pushback for posting this, but the man just did it anyway. Now I have to say, you need to be super confident, or maybe a little overconfident, to compare yourself to Flex Wheeler from 1993. I believe this picture of Flex, that was taken before he won his pro debut, which was the Iron Man back in 93. So Flex's 93 physique, that is a top 3 physique of all time, and that is according to many bodybuilding experts, and also according to the fans as well. Now he was definitely bigger in the later stages of his career, for instance in 1999, but he kinda shot himself with all those enhancements, especially in different areas of his back and shoulders. So his physique in 93, that was the cleanest looking physique of his entire bodybuilding career. Now, is this the first time Logan has made such a comparison? Well, not really. Back in 2020, him and his team around him, they were comparing him to the champ, Chris Bumstead. Now, I have to say there is absolutely no issue with that, but you have got to live up to your self-created hype on the day of the show. Otherwise, the people will for surely call you out. Now, that being said, I have to say Logan's conditioning throughout this prep with his new coach Patrick Tour, that has looked really insane. And you will never find this guy out of shape, no matter what time of the year it is. So he will for surely bring the best look of his career with Patrick Tour, because that is what we have seen from every other guy who has worked with Patrick this year. But the question is, will that be enough to place top 10 in this year's Olympia lineup? Now you have got to give the credit where it's due. Logan has an insane looking Christmas tree, even when he was a smaller guy, competing in the men's physique. Some of the pictures of his back, they look so unreal. Not even an ounce of fat was spotted on his body. So do you guys have Logan in your Olympia top 10? Do let me know in the comments below. So who else think that John Jewett can step on the Olympia stage with this 7 days out look and still outcondition so many guys? So there has been a lot of opposition regarding the implementation of vacuum in the men's open bodybuilding. But here is a perfect example of how John Jewett is able to create that illusion of having a smaller waistline in that front double biceps. And just look at all those striations in his chest. Only a few guys in the men's open bodybuilding have that. So those chest striations, they have been the biggest missing link on our reigning Miss Olympia Derek Lunsford. And I am 100% sure he will love to have them this year. Now John isn't one of those guys who have a very large structure, but still the man is able to hold his own pretty damn well in all of the front shots. His side chest is also a very solid pose. The hamstrings and the glutes are already ripped to shreds, and now that he is hitting that abs and thighs straight on, that really shows how small his waist is. Now he also shows the adductors and the obliques in one of the variations, and his waistline in the other one. And again, I'm gonna say, if some of these guys come enough, John Jett is sneaking past them. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.